I believe this course addresses a really critical issue for all of them, and it is the following. If you want to do something that matters, if you want to create, if you want to do something that requires an organization to be productive, then first you have to understand what it means to do something that matters. Then next you have to realize that it's almost unheard of for a single individual. I mean, there are some instances of this, but it's very hard to do something without the participation of a group. You know, most of the things that we do that are really significant are collaborative activities. And they need to have that process modeled. They have to see what is it to try to create something in a collaborative environment.
So you have to understand that this weekend in Maine is a really exceptional experience for the students. They've spent all semester working on their own ideas, which they're going to pitch the Monday after the experience in Maine. And now they're here in Maine and are creating works of wood that are going to bring a food experience to the people who are coming to listen to their final presentations. And they're not quite even sure why they're doing this, actually. And in the process of creating together, they get to know each other. They get to know a lot about what it means to kind of create together. And then they get surprised at the end when they give this to people and they realize how connected it is to actually be generous to people as they sort of generously listen to you talk about what matters to you.
All right, good morning, everyone. We're welcome here finally. Before we start, we're just going to give you a kind of a rundown of the facilities here, show you where everything is, and a quick safety talk. And then we're going to get right into you guys doing your final design of what you're going to make while we're here. So we'll walk around the building. We'll show you everything, and then we'll come back in here. You can settle back in, take off your coats whenever you're comfortable with that, and we'll start designing. Okay.
When we got here, there was already some pieces of wood laid out for us, different types of wood from different types of trees, and then we had to decide on a shape. So we had kind of like this group voting process for deciding about the shape.
At that point, we already knew what our drinks would taste like and look like, but not how we would present them. So we spent a couple of hours planning that.
Does anybody like 6?
Does anybody like 6?
Nobody likes 6. You know, I thought for a second that David would just kind of say that this shape would be this and we would do this, but then we all like actually collaboratively decided the form of the wooden platter.
I mean, it's always difficult having so many people try to agree on one idea. That was the biggest learning process for me, was just seeing how different people share their ideas and come to a consensus about what's the best design.
Aesthetically, you just created this mishmash here. There's a lot of straight lines and a lot of circles, and when you put them all together, they don't work aesthetically. In collaboration, it is important to have someone of leadership, someone who is sort of not making decisions. It's not about the person making decisions, it's about them guiding the decisions being made by the group. There it is. Let's just set it up. Well, it's time to bring the team together. Everybody gets something. You all get a present now. You all get one.
When the class first started, the people didn't really know each other as well and weren't as comfortable. This weekend, really broke the ice. People really bonded.
We have a bunch of different personalities, but we all blend together relatively well. And over the course, we've gotten to know each other in a way that it's never happened in any other of my courses.
It's important that we all make things, whether it's putting words on paper, music out of an instrument, making something out of materials, whether it be wood, ceramics, whatever it is. I think it's important. It's an important part of our lives.
In the afternoon, we began using the bandsaw, the sanding machine to actually shape our platters, and then we burned them, drilled holes into them for our glasses, and began putting finishing touches on the drinks.
Everyone got hands-on, which was amazing, and people were willing to switch out and do a bandsaw cut or drill some holes or whatever it was that needed to be done.
I think it was really fun to be able to kind of work together with our hands and kind of be in this kind of collaborative space with everybody and just working on different tools and everyone having their own small job but kind of contributing to this larger thing.
I really like the element of teamwork and sort of the hands-on element as well when we're actually getting to create things with our teams.
Admittedly, this was a tough weekend, but I realized that it's just been so therapeutic.
Yeah, a key idea in the class is that to create anything is to create something that matters to you. It could be a sandcastle. To create something that matters to others is a big leap, actually. It might be that you're lucky, but more typically it's because you've listened and because over a pretty significant period of time you've cared enough about what others care about that the thing that matters to you ends up mattering to others. And so this class is very much about the process that leads from having this passion for creating something that matters to you to having this desire to actually create something that matters to many others. So it was really fascinating to watch the students arrive on Monday at the normal class time, but now they know that like in 2 hours there's going to be the public arriving. They're all dressed up very nicely. They've never probably ever served a meal before, certainly not served a meal as a Harvard student with other Harvard students. And then there's probably a question about whether what they made in Maine was actually going to be helpful. And then there was a lot of choreography to kind of get together, but they pulled it off.
For you to try something out and see what you prefer.
So this one here is the best one.
And then you can go ahead and find
class gives you a great opportunity to dream big and not be afraid to like open up ideas that would otherwise seem unachievable.
I think every time I think about this class now, I will certainly be reminded to be more creative and like to really kind of think more broadly and not always kind of look from a very specific lens.
It was a very liberating opportunity to creatively explore our own personal ideas and to work as a group to create an experience that was empathetic for the desires of the customers.
Learning about that process of how big ideas navigate through the constraints of reality is one key takeaway I'm going to take from this course.
I think it's going to help me deal with ambiguity a lot more, just because you don't necessarily know what you're going to be doing a week from now, and that's a lot like what life is in general. So now I know how to deal with punches that life will throw at me.
I think this class helps show that it is possible to live a creative life.
There's just no limits to what you could do.
If I could describe this weekend in one word, it would be Awesome.
Unexpected.
Free.
Making, invigorating, creative,
Build,
Abstract.
Interesting.
Adventure.
Novel.
experience,
Revolutionary.
Thrilling.
Juste un chemin noir sur papier blanc. Respirer en toi, pourquoi pas, pourquoi pas. Te construire un toit, pourquoi pas. La chaleur n'est pas loin. Juste un chemin noir sur papier blanc. Fantasmer de toi, pourquoi pas. Vibrer en toi, pourquoi pas. La chaleur n'est pas loin. Juste un chemin noir sur papier blanc. Juste un chemin noir sur papier blanc.